Are live. 5 seconds.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We need to get a theme music going so we can actually track these things, right?
We will. Yep.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Happy to be here on a Monday morning. Here we go again. Deja vu all over again. This is Tony Schaefer in hosting. We're setting up, hopefully, our schedule to be regularized, and I think I'll be hosting Mondays and Fridays. So you'll start the week with me, and you'll end the week with me, and you'll be happy about it, right, Chris? Everybody should be happy about us being the bookends of the week, right? Chris, are you there? Chris, hello.
Yeah, right here. We're on both sides here. That's what happens.
Yeah,
I had to cough for a little bit, a little hairball, so we're
abandoned
good.
all of a sudden. So, all right.
Yeah,
So,
all set.
anyway, so we'll be doing that, and then we encourage everyone to show up, participate. Yeah, good morning, everybody. We're seeing everybody show up now. Come on in. The water's fine. We'll be talking about a whole range of political, national security, and domestic issues this week. But I want to start off with a Monday, letting you all know that we are sponsored today by the Wellness Company, and don't be caught unprepared. Literally, these are the kits that you should have. They have multiple kits that you need to consider to have for everyday life to be prepared for the worst. Healthcare without propaganda is their motto, and you can get a wellness discount, a wellness company discount, Wake Up Patriots discount by doing it by ordering through the wellness company and using our special code. So uh, they're uh, they're on the internet. You can track them down. It's the wellness company. Just Google them. Put in when you order your order the special code of Wake Up, WAKEUP. That's us. Wake Up, and you'll be able to get some good stuff. So they have everything from emergency kits to pandemic kits, and it's important to be prepared for anything. They have like a first aid kit. I have the picture because I just got this morning, so we're just going through it. So you can get the old emergency kit. I highly recommend that. They also have a travel emergency kit for when you're on the road. A contagion emergency kit. I've never seen this one before. This is a good one. This is contagion emergency, which means if you run into Dr. Fauci, you should take that because it's a bad sign if you run into Fauci. Just saying, that's not a good thing. So anyway, we are going to go through and be talking about all these things this week and more. So without further ado, let's bring in Chris. Chris is already here technically. Did anything happen big last week, Chris? I tend to forget these things over the weekend.
It seems to be that Donald Trump got raised $100+ million in donations.
Yeah, a lot.
Yes, and I think it's because he is now a what many of us would consider a political or could be a political prisoner, but he was prosecuted for wrong thing, basically. You have a
Yeah.
7+ year old. How old was this case, by the way? The Stormy Daniels case. It was
Well,
before 2016, wasn't it?
yeah, I kind of started in 15, went into 16 when he ran for office.
That's right.
So.
Now, with all the timing, all these trials seem to have come and collaborated at once during this election season. As we all know, that's not just a coincidence. I don't believe in that sort of thing. But
Right.
but the funny thing is, people see through this, and they saw through it. He raised a lot of money. There were people waiting all day for him to come home yesterday in Florida, and there were people greeting him, cheering. His supporters were cheering him as his motorcade drove down after his plane landed at 10 p.m. So these people, there are people who they uh, the Trump's following is basically less about Trump himself, more about what he stands for and what's happening to him. And yes, more about the what the current establishment, the deep state, if you will, has been trying to do to us since Kennedy's assassination, or even since
Yeah.
before then.
Right.
That's what Trump represents. The opposite of all of that. The
So
government,
yeah,
they're upset about it.
yeah. So I think that's the key is that the Trump issues have been percolating. I still believe if you look at the array of lawsuits against him, this was the only one they could get in, and they had to really cheat. Now I find it interesting. I've been looking at the polls over the weekend on this, and CBS's poll says, "Oh, most independents think it's a justified verdict. It's like, really? Then if I don't know who you talk to, because most people recognize that first off, due process was not served. The judge sided with the prosecution on objections 99% of the time. 99%. That's not even statistically possible with a person being fair. And I just don't understand how any objective human being could look at that and say, "Oh yeah, no, that was fair. He got a fair shake. He was tried by a jury of his peers," as President Biden says. And I know that we'll get to it in a second. But oh, by the way, I guess Hunter Biden, the first felon. Oh, I shouldn't have said it. He's not a felon yet, but I think he will be. It's pretty certain. His trial starts today too. So.
They tried to get him give him a slap on the wrist a little while ago. So
Oh,
selective or two-tiered system. Ha! All right. I mean, come on.
he got a lot of slaps on a lot of things, according to the computer he's on there. Just saying. So.
That's true. The thing is, though, here's what's going to happen with Hunter Biden. I'm going to predict this. You could hold me to this if you want. Hunter Biden is going to get some kind of conviction, but the result's going to be a slap on the wrist, and Democrats turning around and saying, "See, we didn't show favoritism. We convicted both Trump and Hunter Biden."
Yeah. So my theory remains, Chris, is that this gives Biden an opportunity to pardon both. Like, I want to be a good guy and be nice to Trump, and oh, well, I got to be nice to Hunter too. Why not? So I still think that's where he wants to go with this. I think that's part of the reason they're delaying kind of the sentencing and everything to see how this trial goes. But oh, by the way, this is not the only trial of the first felon that he's got to go through. He's got to go through a tax evasion trial in California too. I mean, this is just one of two for Hunter. So
Yeah, Hunter is going to be he's going to take one for the team, if you will. That is what's going to happen. But even if he does go to jail, this is going to be a Martha Stewart Camp Cupcake
well,
situation. But it's a way for Democrats to say, "Well, look what we did. We are definitely fair. We all right, all right. So we didn't prosecute Hillary Clinton.
yeah,
So
he's given and
so
taken a lot for the team. As a matter of fact, if you're a prostitute and and Hunter walks in, I'm sure you're going to get something. Just saying.
this
I don't
might
know what it'll be.
this might
It's
be a
kind of
good
a
month for that. Yeah, it's a good month for that.
potpourri. Yeah. Apparently, one of the lady. I don't know what do you call prostitutes or exotic dancers these days? I don't even know what the right term. Anyway, one of them, I think, his baby mama is going to do a tell-all book, which I
Oh,
think is
they'll
going to be
deny
kind of
it.
short. Like, okay, he got drunk, he got high, he got. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's just it's
Wasn't there a
unseemly,
600-page?
unseemly. So lady of the night.
And
Yes, I see. See a mud. Hey, see a mud. I've got your T-shirt on too. See a mud. See,
oh, I like it.
see.
Oh,
Yeah, it's, he
wasn't
sent it
there?
to me, so I'm wearing it. Obviously. So go to See a Mud and check out his T-shirts. His great T-shirts. Let me turn around here.
You look snazzing in that T-shirt,
Yeah,
Tony. Look
it's.
at that. How
I know.
snazzing does Tony look in this? Yes.
So yeah, so go to See a Mud. I wear his shirt because they're great. I actually wear them. I've got a bunch over there that I wear. I wore the one the other day with Donald Trump's "Heartbeat of America" in white on the other day. So they're great shirts. So be sure and
They
check
should
them out.
they should make a cool Tony Schaefer T-shirt. That would be
Yeah,
awesome.
See a Mud. Make me a T-shirt. Make me into a T-shirt.
That's
It's
right.
like make me into a sandwich. Okay.
Have him
So
with a nice gun and saying, "Get your own damn ball."
that's right.
Right.
Go ahead and make my day. Go
Uh,
ahead and make my T-shirt.
but there is somebody who's going to make our day today. We do
Uh-oh.
have a special guest today, and
We
let's
do.
welcome her. Yes. So let's bring her in.
Angie.
Hey, good morning.
Good morning, Angie.
Hi,
It's
guys.
hey, good
Happy
morning.
Monday.
Yes. So we are joined this morning as we are in most mornings by a special guest, but we have an especially a special guest with Angie. So um, why am I having a hard time talking? So Angie Wong is joining
What?
us this morning.
Because it's Monday. I
It's
should
like
send
my
you guys
senior moment. Yeah, it's like I'm trying to get things going. So our cat is sick, so
Oh,
I've been focused with our cat all morning. So Bug,
your
he's not here.
cat. You've been focused
Yeah.
on your cat all morning? That's
Well,
sweet.
yeah, he's like 18 years old, and he's like walking around like an old man. So he's like Joe Biden and
Oh,
cats. He's like the Joe Biden of cats. He keeps forgetting things and trying to
Oh,
bomb countries, and then he forgets he was trying to bomb a country. So it's all
so
that.
feed him a bowl of ice cream. That's what you do.
Yeah, I guess
that's right.
Hey,
That's right.
speaking of Joe Biden, good. I'm glad Angie's here. Speaking
Hi,
of Joe
guys.
Biden,
Angie,
did
so
you see
Angie,
this?
we want to talk about. So first off, you have your own show over on another network, right?
I do at an
Tell
unsaid
tell us
network.
about your show. I want to give you full, kind of airtime.
Yeah, sure. No, I am the co-host of the Final Countdown on Radio Sputnik USA, and
Yeah,
it's been amazing. Someone pays me to speak 2 hours a day about politics, and I bring on my friends as guests, like your show, and it's like
yeah,
we just have a big party. I can't believe I'm getting paid for this. Like I'm pinching myself all day long that someone would let me talk, but it's been great. It's kept me on my toes. It is an international broadcast network,
yeah.
which is
That's
great, which
cool.
I actually think reports on US domestic news better than we do here in the US because there's just no filter, right? There's no
Yeah,
advertisers, there's no, corporatists. So we kind of report straight news, which it's a little refreshing, I got to tell you.
yeah. So I mean, if you want to get pinched, just go to the White House and Joe Biden will help you. I'm pretty sure about
Oh
that.
man, I washed my hair for him and everything today. He could
Yeah.
sniff my hair.
Oh boy,
Mm,
he might
smells
just
like
use that.
perk. Mm.
Creepy.
Now, don't
That's
forget to
gonna
put
be
it
a
in your diary, by the way.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. That's gotta be like a really weird fetish to
There
sniff
it is.
hair. I mean,
Yeah,
I gotta look that up.
I don't get that. I mean, there's certain things that I just don't get. By the way, did you know it's Gerbil Pride Month? Did you know that? It started yesterday.
Oh
Isn't
gosh.
it right? I mean, I asked someone yesterday. It's like oh, it's all Pride. Like really? Like even gerbils? Can you even? It's like, did you know
That's
there's a
right.
gerbil? You can get gerbil flags on Amazon. I had no idea. Did you know that?
I have
I'll
one of
get
my
you
own.
one
There we go.
So
if you want.
anyway, Angie, back to your show real quick.
Yeah,
So it's great that you have an international show and you have people on and you talk about things like we talk about.
yep.
But my issue has been lately, obviously, the Trump. We were just talking before you showed up, the Trump verdict, and I don't know of anybody. I was citing a CBS survey. They went out supposedly. Now CBS, now that Catherine Herridge left, it's like CBS, as far as I'm concerned, is it's like Pravda Light, from the old
Mhm.
Cold War days. And anyway, so they're saying, which I don't believe, that over 50%, like 52% of independents think that Trump got a fair trial. What say you?
Did he get a fair trial? Well, we kind of watched the whole entire thing, didn't we, Tony and Chris?
We
I mean,
did.
did he get a fair trial? After all, like, what, 6 weeks of this, I still don't know exactly what the crime is. Is it because he signed a check that he should not have signed? Is it a campaign finance
Yeah,
thing? Well, shouldn't that be the federal courts? Why is this all tied up in a Manhattan
it
court
was.
anyway? Right?
Well, let's
So,
break that down real quick. Yeah, I,
yeah.
I want to hit that real so everybody be clear. What they basically did is that if this was an illegal campaign contribution, if that is the case, if they're saying that Trump allowed Cohen to make an illegal contribution that somehow benefited this campaign, that's only a misdemeanor at best. I mean, if that's true, it's like okay, it's a misdemeanor, but they had to go back and then basically resurrect this because the statute of limitations have passed for any number of things. So they basically had to go back and say, oh no, this is a crime of business fraud. You fraudulently submitted documents because what you were really doing is making a campaign contribution via Cohen, because that's why they said this was an election issue. They had to link it to the election thing, but they didn't really link it because the very guy who ran it or talked about looking at this at the federal level for prosecution, Andrew, they wouldn't let him talk. It's like the guy would come on and say, "Hey, there's no crime here," but then they didn't let him talk, and then they had to make it into a conspiracy so they can make it into a felony, right? I mean, is that kind of the summary of what we're looking at here?
Yeah, I mean, we're looking at another Hollywood script produced by the
Yeah.
Democrat Socialist Party of America. That's what we're doing. We're all just players in their script. We saw the same thing happening in J6, right? We all played into it. Now we're playing into it again, and we're being guided again.
Yeah.
But here's the thing: the difference between then and now is that we know that we're part of their script. We
Yeah.
know that 4 days before the RNC convention, Trump's getting his sentencing. We know all of this. And even the Trump team knows all of this. I think the
Yeah.
best thing that the Trump team can do right now is play the script and play it better, flip it on them. Right. And I wondered the entire time why Trump's legal team didn't hit harder. We're not
Yeah.
playing the same game here. They're playing
No, I know.
street ball, and
Oh,
we're
Yeah.
like, oh, let's go to the courts and do everything by the books. Not to say break the law,
No.
but we're playing a very, very different game.
No, Super
according to
Trooper
Donald Trump.
correctly in the chat. So Super in the chat correctly identified that they never identified a crime. They never did, but they let the jury kind of like wander around. And by the way, to me, there's reversible errors that are obvious. First off, if this is actually a paperwork violation, why did you have Stormy Daniels come in and talk about all her pornography? That is prejudicial, big time. It's like it just layers layers of what $1 bills and disease. It's like we don't need to hear about that.
Well,
Well, we
because
did. I mean, I'm just. What do you want me to say? It's like, and then the second thing, obviously, is the fact that they wouldn't let certain witnesses testify. It's like, no, you can't testify. It's like,
no, and that's the whole point. They were not part of the Hollywood script. Stormy Daniels is about to go on her "Make America Horny Again" tour. All right, and then you've got Michael
good
Cohen
luck
who's
with
selling
that.
Yeah, not
T-shirts.
now. That's like Madonna doing
Yeah.
that now.
So these guys are all making money. You got to tell me not every single person was making money in that courtroom. The
Of
lawyers,
course.
the judge, the judge's daughter,
But his
even the
daughter,
Trump
the big
team
one.
even reported 72 hours after the guilty verdict came down, he's made
Yeah.
$200 million. I mean,
Yeah.
how you see what's happening to us? We're
Well, I
falling
know.
for it.
I think it's insane, but I mean, but the thing is, though, if you look at the fact that the left did this for purposes of their own fundraising, I don't think they necessarily anticipated Trump would be able to outperform that because it's like I said this today in one of my interviews. I did Operation Dark Heart, and it was controversial. People can still read it. I don't think it's that controversial, but the big controversy was the government went after it, and the more we told the government don't do this, they did it. Like, hey, don't censor it. Oh, we're going to censor it. It's like, okay, don't talk about it. Oh, we're going to talk about it. Everything they did to get at me, they made it worse. And I think the same thing is being done here. Do you think, Angie, that the more they go after them, the more it makes it bad for them? I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, clearly George Soros's son came out right after the guilty verdict and said,
Alex.
"Look,
Alex.
Alex, thank you." He kept going, "We have to use convicted felony all over the place between now and November 5th." He wanted to get that message out there. You know what the Biden team did? They restrained themselves, which I thought was very surprising. So I'm sure they're reading the same polls that Trump teams are also reading, saying the more you go after Trump, the more you're going to victimize him and the more people are going to flow his way. Look at the majority of the donors who donated to Save America over the last few days. They're first time Politico donors. They've never donated before, and now they're donating for the first time. How good does that look for not just the Trump team, but all of the Republican Party? They just gained a brand new base and a brand new database, right? So Joe Biden knew it backfired. They don't know how to play three-dimensional chess the same way Donald Trump does. They only know like 2 or 3 moves ahead. Oh yeah, we got him. Yeah, we're going to like lock him up. Yeah, and then they don't realize the backlash. This is going to be the most epic backlash they've ever seen. And
Oh,
I think it's coming through already.
A lot of times people say Biden and the Democrats play checkers while Trump is playing 4D chess. Actually, what it looks like is Biden and his people are playing Candyland, and at this point, they thought they were right by the end, and they drew the little candy hearts that brings them right back to the beginning of the game at this point. But did you see Joe Biden play this like, oh, look at me, I did this? His little smirk at the
yeah. Let's
this one
talk
over
about that.
here, if he's looking at the picture,
Yeah.
that smirk that he gave when a reporter asked him if he was involved in this whole thing. He's like, he just didn't say a word. He just smiles and looks off and gives that little creepy smirk, like I'm going to go sniff some girl right now. But I I did it.
Well, yeah,
Well, I
we're
think that's
seeing it.
exactly what it is. Yeah, I think that's his saying he did it. I mean, I don't know. There's no other way to interpret it as far as I'm concerned. Angie, what do you think?
Well,
I mean,
we know that other DAs have gone to the White House to meet with
right.
them prior to indictments, like Fonnie Willis and her team, right? We know based on the White House logs that they paid multiple visits. In fact, Nathan Wade, billed 8 hours to a visit to the White House. Why would you do that? If this is black ops, you don't bill it on your legal billings, but he did
Yeah.
because he's that kind of lawyer. All right. So we know we all feel like there's some sort of coordination. In fact, Jim Jordan, head of the Judicial Committee in Congress, is pulling in Alvin Bragg on June 13th to ask him a couple of questions,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
did you meet with someone in the White House? Did
I'll
someone
be
in the White
seeing
House
I'll
work
be
in your
seeing Jim next
office?
Saturday too. Yeah.
Yes.
He's
So,
at a fundraiser down here for my friend
and that's the thing. I mean,
Lori Buckout.
if Alvin Bragg gets a golden carrot at the end of this, we all know what this is.
Yeah.
Now, what are we going to do about it now? Because here's the thing. There's 34 counts. He's found guilty. We got to move forward and figure out what is happening, because I'm looking forward to Milwaukee in July. I'm looking forward to seeing President Trump there. He
Yeah.
may be arrested and he may have to go to jail that very day. I don't know, right? It's a
So,
big question mark.
well, so let's break that down a little bit and
Please.
talk about the convention. So, and by the way, as I mentioned, I'll be seeing Jim Jordan a week from Saturday. He's coming up. He'll be down at the fundraiser for my friend Lori Buckout
That'll be quite the
next
pair
Saturday.
right there.
Yeah. So anyway,
Perfect.
that's separate. But anyway, so what I want to ask you is about the convention, because I think one of the members of Congress proposed moving it up. It's like when I heard that, and I got the question, like, you can't really move a convention like that because there's so much logistics involved. You've got, one of my dear friends here locally is going to be one of the delegates from North Carolina. So Bob Kirby. Bob is the chair of the Republican Party here. It's like there's a delegate there. Each state sends a delegation. Each delegation has to show up. Everybody has to caucus, and I just don't think it's possible to move it up before the 11th. What do you think?
No. And you're right. The logistics is impossible. Congressman Corey Mills of Florida
Mills proposed it.
suggested
Yeah.
that we move it up to July 4th, Independence Day.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's a great, great idea. I have one too, which might be a little bit easier because guess what? The day after Donald Trump was convicted of 34 counts was the deadline for all the delegates to pay for their hotels and travels and pay their fees to the RNC. Okay, so we're talking upwards of $6,000 per delegate paying for a non-refundable everything. All right, so that aside, here's my kind of idea when I first heard that the sentencing was going to be on July 11th, 4 days before the convention, was to do what Joe Biden and Kamala Harris is doing, which is to have a virtual convention.
I said that. Yeah, a virtual one would do that. Yeah.
Just do it that way that, we could still party in Milwaukee. It would just be a ceremony versus the real thing, which sucks, but at least he gets in before the sentencing, which is what I think they're trying to do. It's not great, but that's what Biden's doing it. Biden's blaming it on, oops, we forgot deadline in Ohio. So I didn't make it on the ballot. So we're going to do it this way. There are 5 million consultants and strategists working on his campaign, on Biden's campaign. No one forgets to put his name on the Ohio ballot. Okay. It's not Guam. It's Ohio. Right.
Well, this is where the DEI hires come in, and they screw everything up one more time. By the way, wasn't it fun to watch Joe Biden actually say out loud in front of the entire country and his crowd of a few supporters that Kamala Harris is an official DEI hire? We all knew that, but still.
When did he say that, Chris? I missed that.
There was I'll have to pull that up, but he actually announced it. He actually announced that that he was talking about how great his administration is filled with a diverse group of people, and he's touting DEI, and then says it all starts at the top with
that's true.
Our vice
I mean,
president.
the incompetence starts at the very top and kind of meanders way down.
All right, give me a few moments.
No doubt on that. That's a provably true statement. But beyond that, and what we're talking about regarding the convention times, to me, I think the left, Angie, wants to avoid what I think is going to be as bad as 1968. I think the convention is going to be violent. I think you're going to have protesters show up. Uh, I think this really, I want to talk about this ham-handed announcement on Friday at the White House, which was incidental to that picture that Chris showed, that Biden said, "Oh, the Israelis have submitted a plan. It's 3 parts." It's like, why aren't the Israelis announcing this if this is their plan? It's like what?
Yeah. Well, because Bibi is on his way to Congress, and
Uh,
Joe Biden wants to get his narrative out
yeah,
before Bibi can even
of
step foot.
course.
Remember, Bibi was invited by the White House a few weeks ago to talk about a ceasefire, and it was Netanyahu who canceled that trip.
To me,
Now go ahead, Joe. We don't play Joe. Play slow Joe.
I have that. I apologize. I thought I had this not up here. So here we go. Here is Joe Biden calling Kamala Harris a DEI
Oh,
hire.
that we're back to the DEI
No.
thing. Gotcha.
To me,
All right, let's
the
go to
values
DEI.
of diversity, equality, inclusion are literally, and that's not kidding, the core strengths of America. That's why I'm proud to have the most diverse administration in history. It taps into the full talents of our country. And starts at the top with the vice president.
Yeah.
To me, the values of diversity.
You're right. So let's talk about the DEI thing because it leads right into what we're talking about regarding the Bibi and the Israelis. It's apparent, and even the Independent, which is not a conservative paper, talked about Saturday. They called it Saturday that the Biden peace plan was useless and Biden was completely out. Nobody would listen to him. And I think, Angie, it's largely because of the minions he's picked. Blinken, well, as Chris said, we got Kamala Harris. You know, by the way, whose cackle is more annoying, Hillary Clinton's or Kamala's? Is anybody doing a survey of that? I think somebody
Oh.
should do a survey of that.
Yeah, no. They're annoying for different reasons. I
Yeah.
think. No, you know what it is? Ultimately, with all their smiles, they're all phony. Even
Yeah.
Joe Biden's, they're all phony. And there's nothing authentic about it. They can't even fake authenticity. At least if you're going to cackle or smile or laugh, at least make it believable for someone like
Right.
me, right? But they don't care. They're just doing it because it says right there on the screen.
A lot
Cackle.
of people think Kamala is more annoying. Hillary's just evil. Yeah, I agree with that.
I think we should finance a poll,
So,
like
but
an official
this
poll.
is. But remember, Angie, the most important thing of diversity is being diverse. And when you consider diversity being so important to being diverse, you have to remember that diversity is the key of everything relating to how we see diversity, being diverse, and being a diverse people. Because diversity is very important to being diverse. How can you be diverse if not diverse? That's
Well,
my
I think,
Kamala Harris for the day.
yeah, I think you have to have diversity of the mind. Look, I grew up in the 80s and 90s in New York City public school. I saw the rainbow color in Queens,
Yeah, I mean,
right? So
yeah,
I don't
exactly.
know I thought we were done with
I
this stuff. I thought we were
I had this
over and done.
conversation. No, I had this conversation with some Navy folks over the weekend. Older Navy folks, not the current ones. I mean, they're current but older like me. And it's like, yeah, we knew back in the day that everybody was gay, lesbian, or what nobody cared.
Yeah,
Right? Just go be
I don't
yourself.
care. Yeah,
It
have
works that
fun.
way.
Yeah.
And we'll party every once in a while, but don't jam it down my throat
Yeah.
that everything has to be colored this way. But that's not my world. If your
Right.
lenses are every single decision you make, every thought you have in your head is colored that way, good. Go enjoy yourself. But don't
Right.
bleed it on me. I'll do my thing, you do your thing.
No,
So
it's a
that goes
full
back
industry based
to
on that.
yeah, it goes back to this is I guess Pride Month, which we have to acknowledge.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you knew this, but I'm big into gerbil pride. I love gerbils.
Oh my gosh.
We'll do,
Yeah, yes.
Richard Gere and I. Richard Gere, we'll get Richard Gere on. Hey, Chris, can you track Richard Gere down? Talk about gerbils with us.
Sure,
Oh
why
my
not?
gosh.
He's
Do
not
that.
doing Hollywood anymore. He was kicked out of Hollywood for talking religion. So yeah, that's fine.
All right, yeah. So I'm being over the top because I'm trying to make a point. Who cares? I mean, well, gerbils would care, so to speak. I mean,
They should have
be
a say.
They're
I
going
should.
to
making
I,
the
hiding
run
this
this month. Yeah, for goodness sake.
I think PETA should get in between all this.
Yeah. Oh,
Yes,
well,
I'm sure
the
they
chipmunks are
would. They
very
would.
happy that they're not being paid attention
Yes,
to this month.
I'm Sure, that's
Ferals.
true.
Let's talk ferals.
You can talk
Did you?
furries. Furries are out there. I don't get the furry thing too. It's like I've seen this furry thing, and it's like I don't get it. It's like how do
I mean, we
you?
got gerbils, we got Joe Biden
Yeah,
sniffing little girls' hair. Like, what weird fetishes are we going for now? Like, I don't even know. It's like everything's
that's what I
acceptable.
mean. Yeah, it's all about the more extreme you can get. It's like, and then I still don't understand how who you sleep with or what you sleep with has any relevance to your ability to work as a member of society, a productive member of society. I don't understand that, especially when it comes to the military. It's like I don't understand how your personal, preferences makes you able to better say, I don't know, target a drone to go kill people when you're told to do it. I don't know. I don't get it.
Yeah, no, I have a saying, and this is maybe controversial, but like, I want my public servants and my public officials to get laid. I do. Like, I want them to have a clear head when they're making big decisions about
Yeah.
the world and, world peace and stuff. Like, I don't want them all like, oh, I'm so like frustrated,
Oh,
like,
well,
I want
No,
them
they're
clear minded.
trust me, they're
then there's that
frustrated
other
anyway.
extreme. There's that other extreme. I don't think Bill Clinton was very fair-minded and everything.
I feel your pain,
Well,
Chris.
That's the other
I
extreme when it
feel
comes
your
to getting
pain.
laid. Okay.
I feel your pain, Chris.
Did
I
you?
did not have sex with that woman,
ooh.
Monica Lewinsky. So
Ooh, you can't pull that stuff off anymore. I think politicians try to gaslight you, but there's just too much on social media now. There's
yeah.
too much legacy media to go back to. There's just too many cameras in the sky, right? So you can't really pull that stuff off yet. I
Well,
Okay, here's another thing.
I don't know.
People who will follow Joe Biden right now and will tell you that Trump's a criminal, have their head buried in the sand. They
Yeah.
don't care. There are people, and there are certainly people on Trump's side who do the same thing when something goes wrong on that end. But
mhm,
there are people, no matter what happens, no matter what proof you show them, they're
right.
going to bury themselves in the
Yes.
sand and call you a racist or some kind of bigot for even bringing it up. That's
Yep.
what's going to happen.
Oh, it
So let me
happens
take a
all day
break.
long.
Yeah, I got to take a break. We have to pay a bill here. So this morning we're being brought to you by the Wellness Company. Be sure and check them out on the internet. Wellness Company Medical Kit. Be sure and check that out. Uh, and this is something that everybody needs. They have a number of things that you can get supplements. They do things for the health of your organs, bison supplements, essential oils, sleep and restoration mixtures, and then of course the medical kits, which are hugely important, which I highly recommend. Medical emergency kit, contagion emergency kit. Again, that if you see Dr. Fauci, that's what you need to have because if he's near a virus is near, just saying. It's true. What am I saying is not true here? I'm just, putting it in perspective for everybody, for
He's in
God's sake.
he's in so much
Yeah, I
trouble
mean, you
today.
trust me on that. If you see Fauci, grab one. Well, you better have a kit before you see Fauci. If you see Fauci, don't have a kit, it's too late. It's going to be too late. So get the
What's
kit
gonna
now.
happen? What's gonna
Get the
happen to
kit.
Fauci?
Contagion kit. Yeah. First aid
That's
kit,
what happened to
emergency
Hunter.
travel kit,
Nothing.
all this. So anyway, so again, the Wellness Company. You can Google them, get on the internet, go after them. Get the kits. Get the kits as quickly as you can. Fauci's still free, so he's roaming around. I hear Angie. I don't know if you heard when the news came out about his being caught in a lie. Apparently, he was hiding out in Hoboken as a garden gnome over the weekend. Apparently, he moved on. So I don't know. I don't know. If you see him in New Jersey, be careful because I think he's contagious. Just saying.
He does look
But
like a garden gnome. That's a
he
great
does. He
business
That's
does.
idea.
that's
How much
racist
Does.
do you make
against
that?
garden gnomes.
So
The
anyway,
gnome Americans are going to be very upset with you people.
I know. So anyway, but order today. Get your kit. Use code Wake Up for a discount. Use our code Wake Up for a discount. That's the Wellness Company, and get the medical emergency kit. The actual medical emergency kit has antibiotics, anti-inflammatories, and antifungals. So this one even works with Fauci because it's got the antifungals. Just saying. So
Ooh.
that's a good kit. So be sure today. Get on the internet. Get on the interwebs on Al Gore's amazing internet, and look up the Wellness Company and order today. And use Wake Up for a discount. All right, we're back with Angie for more fun and frivolity. So Angie, we were just talking about Anthony Fauci. So let's go down that path a little bit. So you and I have talked about this in person and on and off the air. It's no doubt at this point that the whole pandemic was a fraud. It was like one big setup, and this revelation that NH and NIH doctors made $710 million off of the pandemic. That's a lot of incentive to lie to the American people, don't you think?
Yeah, and that was just from the pharmaceuticals. I mean, imagine all the other things we have yet to discover. No, this
Yeah.
one is a big one. We cannot give this a free
No.
pass because you took down the world. Okay,
No.
air travel was down
Yeah.
entirely. You had entire populations locked in their homes for months and overseas almost for 2 years. So don't just tell me brush it off. Don't let Fauci just smile and walk away. This is a big one. They cannot
No.
get away with this. But who is going to be the agency who's going to take these guys down, Tony? Because I can't think of a single agency that would be
Well,
brave enough
Well,
to
certainly
do
not
this.
who is not gonna be doing
No,
anything like
who's not
that.
doing anything?
exactly. That circles back to Trump. Yeah. So this is why I
Yeah.
wanted to bring it up the way we did here. Yeah. So what we're talking about regarding this relates directly back to Trump because this is why they're fighting so hard to get rid of Trump and make sure he can't come back because he is it's like save us Obi-Wan, you're our only hope. Remember that in Star Wars when they're trying to get Obi-Wan to come in? So
Yeah.
this is about it. I mean, because there's nobody else who's going to have the courage. As much as I admire a number of candidates, look, I've met RFK Jr. He's not going to have the cojones to go after these guys, even though he says I just don't think so because so much of the people who would have to support him would back him off. Trump doesn't care. I just don't think Trump cares anymore. And I've said this over and over. The two things Trump had to learn from his first experience: don't trust the swamp to pick its own people. Rance Priebus put swamp creatures into his administration. Krebs and others, the DHS guy, were in on it from the beginning. I think that the guys.
Yeah, don't forget he brought in that guy that sang, "Sitting on the Dock of the Bay," the cover, Michael Bolton
Michael Bolton, yeah.
Yes, that's right. I'm just kidding.
And then he's got to pick competent people. Well, but Angie, did you get any word? Is Tony Blinken going to go to the UN and play "Stairway to Heaven" for him? That would be.
Oh
dramatic.
gosh,
That would be
Tony
great. Yeah, I think.
Tony Blinken is going to be the fall guy for the Biden administration in a few months. We feel it. He knows it too. It's on his face. He's always nervous.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
Oh, yeah.
he's got to be the talking head for things that don't make sense. Meanwhile, the Biden administration is trying to play it both ways in every war they've started, by the way. And
Yeah.
we now know, I mean, and Tony and Chris, you know this too. I mean, they're just trying to finance the guys over in Virginia to make sure that, we have military contracts at least until 2029. That's what this
course.
is all about
That's no-
anyway.
That's
But
no
yet
joke.
it's all wrapped up in, hate and peace and right and wrong. I mean, stop pulling at my heartstrings. Just write the blank check so I can see what you're at least doing, right?
Yeah.
Well,
So
this is why, Angie, this is why the Republicans in the Senate are going along with all this money to Ukraine and all this other
Yes.
garbage.
Yep.
You heard what Kennedy said. He said he had a conversation. This is earlier this year. He said he had a conversation with Mitch McConnell, and McConnell's telling him, "Well, don't worry because the money is going to go right back to Americans. It goes to our defense contractors and everything else."
Yeah.
Okay, fine. So the insider traders in Congress are going to make all sorts of money. That's why they're
course.
not rocking the boat in the Senate.
that's right.
course.
That's exactly right. And we know
So anyway,
it.
but that's the point, Angie. Trump doesn't care. He's not in it for the money. And I think that's what they're afraid of. It's like, yeah, he doesn't care. It's like, I'm just going to
So what I would advise the Trump team right now is that Trump is one person. They can get at one person, but can they get at 100 people who are his surrogates?
Well, that was my second point. So he's got to pick people who are both loyal and competent. Now, he did a combination of both last time. Like Anthony Scaramucci, yeah, he was like, I don't know, maybe kind of loyal at the time, but not competent. I mean, he's got to stay away from Scaramucci's because I think he knew the mooch, right? I mean, they must have known each other at some point, and they liked it. So don't pick people you like. Pick people that Plus, he turned on him, right? I mean, Mooch is one of his biggest kind of
turncoat.
yeah.
What a rat.
So you got to get people who are competent and technically proficient in their skill, as well as loyal. But Angie, would you argue? I think if Trump's been paying attention, he has those people available to him now. You think?
Wait, say that again. He doesn't have those people.
He
or
does.
has-
Do you think after all these years, he can reach out? Because you're right. He can't be as one man do it at all.
No.
but I would think he knows who's loyal now and who's competent. Do you think that they're smart enough to figure that out by now?
Yes and no. I mean, I know plenty of people that really should not be around Trump at all. I think some of
Interesting.
them,
Okay.
I'll tell you flat out, I don't care because I have no skin in the game. I think some of
I
them
don't.
are
Well, I
complete
technically don't.
idiots and some of them are hurting Trump. But, he does have the right soldiers around him for sure. Not
Yeah.
only are they loyal, they're just good people. Like, you can't compromise some of these guys with money or
No, I
anything
know.
else, maybe blackmail, but nothing where I think their constitutions are pretty strong. It's like, come at
They
me with everything
compromise
you
them with
got.
dribbles.
Yeah, but does he have those people? I think he has some. I think he has some. He's chosen some very good players around him. But guess what? Everyone in Washington, including his disciples, um, how do I say this? I mean, everyone's an egomaniac. Everyone's in
Yeah.
it for themselves at some point. What Trump has done lately, or actually for the past couple of years now, that I really like is because of the Anthony Scaramucci types. He no longer gets rid of people. He just benches people, right? So if you're doing something wrong, he doesn't like you. He'll move you to like Georgia or Pennsylvania just to get out of his face. But he'll give you like some a symbolic job that doesn't do anything.
Ambassador to New Zealand. There you go.
Yeah, right. So he moves you over there and gives you an important title with nothing to do, which is fine because he doesn't want to make any more enemies.
Oh
He
no,
doesn't want people turning to the press.
That's the
so that
Carol
is the
Moseley
John
Brown treatment.
Lehman. No, that's the John Lehman solution. I've talked to John about
Ah,
this. So no, John came in back in the Reagan years. Now, I'm a Reagan guy and I'm close to the Reagan folks. And so I sat down and I talked to John Lehman directly. This is face to face. This isn't like through a third person. And his challenge, he was the youngest ever Secretary of the Navy. And he was still a reserve. I don't know if you knew this, a reserve Navy commander. He was still flying. He was. I don't know if you knew this. The Secretary of the Navy was actually flying aircraft on and off aircraft carriers, which drove people nuts.
that's
I mean,
cool.
hey, he's the Secretary of the Navy.
I can't see Carlos de Toro doing that.
Well, he could do a blimp. I mean, I think he'd be okay. I think he could. I know Carlos. I know. I know the man. I literally walked by his side from the Navy Chapel at Annapolis to Bud McFarland's gravesite. We walked together. So, I hope he has a sense of humor because, he's a big man.
He does. He's fun.
He's a big man. So, I mean, he's a big man. I mean, big, generous, not just big. Well, I'm getting in trouble here. But anyway, my point being is that unlike other people, John Lehman was young and active, and he got in some trouble too. Just saying, I know the whole tailhook thing back then was pretty interesting. I'm not going to get into that. But my point being is that as John Lehman came in, he had to get Admiral Rickover out because Rickover had stayed his, the father of the nuclear navy, brilliant man, but he had overstayed his time, and then get rid of all the other do-nothings around him. So what he did, Angie, to your point, he put him in he bought a big building in, I think it was Crystal City, right across from Washington, down from the Pentagon. And he called them all in and said, "Oh my gosh, you guys are too important to actually do work. You are the brain trust. You need to go over to this building and think big thoughts, and you come up with concepts and stuff." So he shoved them all over there, and they were happy, briefing and debriefing each other. Which debriefing each other, I guess, had a different meaning than today. Just saying. I don't know about what happens. Yeah. Pride Month, Pride Month and everything.
Well, there's also the debriefings in the Clinton administration, so that's another story.
Well, debriefings in the Oval Office became dual meaning, if you know what I mean. Just saying. I mean,
now, of course, in congressional offices under the Biden administration's debriefings mean a whole different thing.
Well, if you're in the Senate, especially, yeah. In the Senate, I guess, boy, I tell you that I've never thought of the Senate as a great place for dates, but apparently some gay people did. I don't know about that. I don't.
Well, either that, and of course, the other house, the house is where you can get really hot dates if you, in fact, don't mind dating somebody from an enemy country. Yeah.
Well, Eric Swalwell, man. I mean, she, Fang Fang was her name.
Yes.
Yeah.
Fang Fang.
Yeah. Now, did you guys hear that Fang Fang died in a airplane accident?
Oh.
I don't know. I heard one report of that, and I can't confirm it, obviously. But yeah, she's gone. She was disappeared.
I see. She got that. Yeah, she got the treatment. I see.
Yeah. So that's why you don't mess with guys in power.
Yeah.
You don't know what
Well, I
happens.
don't know. Do you know if Swalwell is actually a guy? I mean, is he like
Oh,
G.I. Joe down there or what? I mean, I heard that Fang Fang wasn't happy about the mission, so to speak. It's like I got to go do what with him? Really?
oh boy. I don't know how to
Yeah,
answer that.
talking about taking one for the team. Oh my gosh.
Oh my gosh, that's right. So
Or as what's his name? What's George Takei? Oh my, there we
oh
go.
my, oh my.
Yeah,
So
Swalwell should just come out as gay. Then it would just like completely deflate everything and be like,
well,
and
Worked,
he would rise up
course.
to the top.
it worked for Jim Florio.
Oh, is that what happened?
No, Jim Florio, when he was governor of New Jersey, he was about to be slapped with major corruption charges
Yeah,
before losing the next election, and he was just in a tizzy. So he decides right after the news kind of starts to leak out, makes this big announcement: "I'm gay," and that becomes the story.
that's
Nothing
right.
else. All the corruption goes away.
Oh, wow. See? Use that tool, Eric Swalwell.
Yeah.
Use that tool.
I,
Or
I
say
have it in
he's
my
bi.
I have that in my back pocket
Oh, I
too in
don't
case
know.
something goes wrong. So that's what's
Well,
going to happen.
use the gerbil. Use the
Yeah.
gerbil. It will
I think he's gone down the Richard Gere track. Can I say that? I don't. I guess I could say that. Can I? Can I? I guess I said it. I
You
guess I
said
could.
it.
Anywho, well, it's Pride Month,
Oops.
right? We should Chris. We should get like a different every time we go on there. We should have a different flavor of pride. Shouldn't we do that?
That's true.
Like it's like a spectrum, really. It's like the rainbow
What,
flag.
30
It's like
days, one for
SpongeBob.
each. Yeah, one
You
for each
know,
color on that flag. There's like 30
that's
of them
right.
now or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm skipping the MAP one though, the MAP part. So that's
I
it.
don't. I don't get it. I can't even map it. Whatever it is. You know. I
Map
can't.
it. Oh my
I can't.
goodness.
Anyway.
Oh, this is
Anyway.
bad.
Is this a family
Hey-o.
show? What is
Heyo.
this, a family show? What did I get myself
No, the
into?
kids are in school, Angie,
They're in school. Yeah. So one more quick. I got to say it
Yes.
one more
unless
time,
they're
real quick.
homeschooled.
I got to do the TWC, the wellness company. So as we're talking about today, we've gone through and talked about things that are very unhealthy. This Pride Month thing, I don't think is very healthy. So you need to be healthy, stay connected, stay informed, and get the kits that will actually make a difference in your life. The wellness company has all sorts of options for you and your family to stay healthy. And when you don't stay healthy, you get into trouble. And the way you do things to be ready is you get their kits. Get the emergency contagion kit. Again, this is the anti-Dr. Fauci. If you think you're going to be in the area with Fauci, get this because he's contagious. Just saying. I don't know what he's got, but he's got something. And of course, get the emergency kit. And I think you got the overall wellness kit, which I do highly recommend because it's got a little bit of everything in there. And where is it? And by the way, they're saying, which is correct, healthcare without propaganda. So we need to do a number of things to get this done for your family. So get on it today. Do what's necessary. The Wellness Company, wellnesscompany.com, and use our code Wake Up. Wake Up is you save money like $30. That's real money. That's like 3 visits to the Starbucks, right? Right, Chris? That's like you can get a cappuccino or 3, right?
Yeah,
So
maybe. What are those
maybe.
stale cakes they have there too?
Yeah. Well, I don't like that's one thing I do like actually. 7-Eleven has better cakes than
Is that true in California now? If you want to get your you want to get your $10-12 Whopper, you can have a $9 Starbucks with your $12
Are you
Whopper.
bringing up a Whopper because it's Pride Month? I don't know.
Oh man,
Is that even a term? A pride term? Oh man, I need a
I don't know.
dictionary.
I thought that meant something
know
else.
that
Really?
one.
I grew up in the
Really? I
70s.
don't
That meant
know.
something else. Yeah.
All right. Oh, well, Chris has got a heart out, and I've got to get going because I got to go check on a sick cat here when I'm done. So,
Poor
all right. So Angie, what else is going on that you want people to pay attention to? And we want to have you
Oh
back on the
man.
show. So, real quick, an announcement. So, Chris and I will be hosting Mondays and Fridays. Just to remind everybody who's just shown up, we've got a big audience now. So, Chris and I have got the Monday and Friday shift. So, you're stuck with us. We are the bookends to a great week, right, Chris?
That's right. The bookends. We're the gerbil and the other gerbil for the week. I guess.
Right, we're on a treadmill, Anyway,
But we're gonna
Well,
but
we have a very cool guest this Friday, by the way. I'm gonna
we do.
Yes.
We do. We have a super cool. So Chris and I are recruiting our rock and roll friends, more his friends than mine, but
Oh, there are
we got
friends.
rock and rollers coming in. We're going to bring in and some potential stars from 1970s TV series, right, Chris?
Possibly, yes. And
Yes.
maybe a Roxy roller. And that's a real big hint.
Yeah,
is that
that's
another
right.
pride thing? A Roxy
No,
roller?
no, these people are
No,
anti-pride.
that's definitely
Yeah.
Well, I will tell you, I want to thank you so much for having me on a Monday. You got me all caffeinated. But what I want to know more is about your race. I want to hear what's happening with
Oh,
Tony's race.
Yes.
Are we looking at our next elected official?
well, maybe. So
When is it?
I've
When's
got
your
my
election?
Facebook thing up. So thank you for mentioning it. We'll talk about it more with you next week. How about we'll try to get you back on next week if that's okay.
I would love that. I would love to
Chris,
help support you.
So I've got to get some other things done. My Facebook little thing for Tony Schaefer for commissioner is up. I'm running for county commissioner here in Chewan County, North Carolina. Things are going well. I'm meeting people and people are meeting me, and it's fun. And it's, by the way, the job is kind of, I'm going to a meeting tonight. It's all about just managing basic numbers. People don't, it's the stuff that nobody wants to do because it's hard work. And so that's why I tell people, you tell people, I've been there when you told them, it's like, get involved, go get elected, get involved in all the local stuff, because if you don't do it, someone else will. And if someone else gets in there and starts writing checks, the interest you don't like, well, it's your own fault for not getting involved. Just saying. So
That's right. And I thank you for running. I thank everyone who's running this round and every future round. I was recently asked to be the executive committee woman for my county, and I might accept that because nobody else wants that job,
Oh,
and I'm happy to do
congratulations.
it. So I'm looking forward to working with my city councilor
Yeah.
and my mayor and everyone in the Florida GOP. I'll also be a delegate at the RNC convention if it happens. So
Oh,
I'm really
good.
looking forward to that. Yeah, no, it's my
Congratulations.
first
That's great.
convention,
Well,
and I want to. Yeah, I got to thank Eric Trump and Laura Trump for trusting in me, and of
Yeah.
course Donald Trump for vetting me and allowing me to be there. I just hope it happens. I'm worried because
Yeah.
I'm one of those delegates that paid up to $6,000.
Oh,
That's
yeah, good luck then.
unrefundable.
Very good luck.
Yeah.
I
Good luck.
will tell you this. I was asked to run for dog catcher, but only for a short
Yes.
amount of time. The problem was I was going to run for dog catcher, but now the voters don't like my catch and release program. They call me
Heyo.
the Mayor Wu of dog catchers. So I was out of the race real fast.
Should be Dr. Wu. Are you with me, Dr. Wu? Can it really be? I love that song, by the way. Anyway, I wanted to run for hall monitor, but apparently that job is already taken. I don't know.
Oh, by who would be a
By
good hall
the guys
monitor?
who the sheriff's department who actually run the halls at the high school. Just saying.
Oh,
That has to happen now in some
Right.
districts. It's sad but true. We used to have
So-
really tough security guards, Lucy and Mona, back in high school, and nobody messed
Ooh.
with them. And then
Yeah.
we had another disciplined guy who had his terrible car accidents, who had half a body cast. He was a great guy, Mr. Citarella. He had his half a body cast, and some jerk, some tall 15, 16-year-old tried to mess with him and tried to push him around. Well, the man knows martial arts, so he takes the guy with his good half, his good arm, takes him by his arm, and puts him in a chicken wing and throws him against the wall until the other disciplined guys could get a hold of him. You don't see that in schools anymore. The kids run the schools, but that's another story, and I think that's a can of worms for a different show.
Yeah, it
But-
is. So no more body casts for you, Chris. Just saying.
No. And dog catching.
All right, so we got to go. But hey, I see in the chat that people are asking about Ed. I don't know when Ed's coming back. I talked to Ed. I've been talking to Ed on the text. But for now, and Ed will be tonight. Tonight, I'm on with Ed tonight. I've been booked, and I'll be on with Ed on the briefing, his show on N2 at 6. I think I'm on 6:25. So be sure and join Ed Henry on Newsmax 2. I'll be on with him. I don't know when he'll be back here. I've asked him to step in and say hello once in a while, but he's busy doing stuff. But I can guarantee you this: Chris and I will be back Friday with some great guests. Angie, we've asked Angie to come back and continue the conversation. We didn't go through everything we wanted. Doesn't this go fast, Angie? It goes
It
so fast. I
does.
wanted.
Too fast.
There's like 5 other things I wanted to talk to you about, and we couldn't get to them. So
No, we will. And thank you so much for having me on. I will come back any day. I'm going to send you guys coffee next time. I don't know how I'll do it, but I will make sure we're all drinking together.
We
All
need to make
right.
coffee.
I'm in.
Well,
I'm in for
I'm
that.
out. I drank my pot already. So anyway,
Okay,
one last
whatever.
time today we're sponsored by the Wellness Company. Get your emergency medical kit, especially where is it here? I had it here a second ago. The anti-Fauci kit. You can't live without the there it is, the contagion kit. If you're going to be anywhere close to Anthony Fauci, you better have that contagion kit. So anyway, got to run. Good. Thank you all for being here today. We'll see you again next week. Angie, thank you for being here today. Chris, thanks for running everything.
Thank
We'll
you.
see you soon. Bye, Patriots.